Are you serious? Are you serious? Something biblical is definitely going on here, guys, with the signs of the second coming of Christ. No wonder Jesus said, something biblical is definitely going on here. Yes, no wonder Jesus said there will be wars and rumors of wars. He said, see that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdoms against kingdoms, and there will be famines and pestilences and diseases and earthquakes, all of these things in different places. And this is just the beginning of sorrow. Guys, last night we had an incredible broadcast with Mike from around the world. A lot of information was shared in that, but there was a specific period where the nuclear option was seriously put on the table by, we know Putin has said it, but now we believe it is possibly imminent. Now, we'll talk about that in just a second, but first, let me put a shout out right now for www.godwetrustthat.com. That's www.godwetrustthat.com. You see, I'm wearing a hat today, maybe one of the most patriotic hats in America. It's awesome. It's the American flag, but you can see the cross right there in the center of the stars and stripes right there in the blue. You need to turn up the volume on this one, guys. The statistics show that American patriotism is thriving. Matter of fact, 85% of Americans consider themselves very patriotic. 63% own an American flag. I know I do. It's flying out front of my home right now up on a high flagpole. And 43% are extremely proud to be an American. There's never been a better time to stand with your fellow patriots. And this is why I'm going to highly recommend that in God We Trust hat, to proudly show your patriotism. That in God We Trust is worn by preppers, survivalists, patriots, veterans, conservative Christians. I mean, look, I love and I wear it, folks, from time to time. I love to show my love for America and how God has blessed it. So if you've been looking for a hat and a way to be very patriotic this summer, you'll love this one. This is going to add this to your repertoire. You'll love In God We Trust hat. Buy one In God We Trust hat and get another one free. Guys, if you move now on that in the next 24 hours, here's what you do. Go to this link, okay? Very important. You go, if you go to this link and order your hat, you'll get a second one free. Here's what it is. www.godwetrustthat.com. Again, that's www.godwetrustthat.com. All right. And I'm sure you'll be glad you did. All right. Well, let me tell you some things that's happening right now with Vladimir Putin. You know, and I was thinking about Mike from the world the other day, last night, excuse me. It was a powerful. Can I change this? I have to. I just can't stand. I'm trying to get by without wearing these, but not today, maybe, or maybe not right now. Anyway, let me just say this quickly, because in last night's broadcast, good to see everybody. And oh, by the way, today is Good Friday, and we're going to be having communion tonight. We're going to be doing communion live at 6 p.m. Eastern, the Passover Good Friday communion. It's a powerful time. And if you're sending in your Passover offerings today, do that right now with your prayer request. We're going to be laying hands and praying over all of them this evening and again on Sunday evening. So I want to pray over this Passover offerings and prayer request. All right. Now, let me tell you a little bit about what's going on. We have found out in the interview with Mike from around the world last night, Mike made a very profound statement. And so I really want to just play it again. Let me just play it again. It's about 3 or 4 minutes, but listen to what Mike has to say when it has to do with Russia's nuclear capabilities. It's not the fact that they got a bunch of nukes. It's how do you launch them and effectively do severe damage without really the world knowing it's coming at them. I mean, if you can pull that off, that even makes you more dangerous. I want you to listen. This is Mike from Around the World's interview last night, about 3 or 4 minutes. Listen to this very closely. Very concerning.
That will just break all trust with its people. But yeah, Russia still, they dangerously command the domain of space, the domain under the water. And they have hypersonic technology. They have an arsenal that they have not unleashed to the world yet, right? That they're not going to unleash it until they're ready to strike. So here we are, though.
So when you talked about this atomic nuclear torpedo, have they ever fired this thing in warfare before?
No.
So this is a serious nuclear weapon.
Yes.
That probably shoots from I'm going to say a submarine.
Yeah, it can. But as with the case in 2020, they launched it from Russia and it went right to Florida, turned around and went halfway back before we could ever tell what in the world it was. And of course, it was a dummy warhead, but it did its thing, just like it kind of has a signature and the sound of a fish. So it's very difficult to find underneath the waters. Now, these things can be programmed to travel in the seas for months before it hits its target, right? Which makes it almost impossible to really hunt down and stop. So it's not like a normal conventional, device. So, we face things like that. Russia's very sneaky in their technology. They had 2 subs that showed up near the Gulf in 2021. They have been seen and spotted. We have shadow signatures all throughout the East Coast, but we can never identify the actual vehicle that was in the water. We know it wasn't ours. And so we face these things. So we have to be very sober and diligent in these times.
Right. Now, I have reports, Mike, and I don't know if you can respond or not, that there is U.S. soldiers as well as other Lithuania, maybe some other nations from NATO that are actually in Ukraine, that are actually wearing Ukrainian uniforms and are helping the Ukrainian army operate some of these weapons that have been donated to them. Do you have any info on that?
Well, if we sent like Lars, if we sent the 4-base Lars system over there, right, we would have to have individuals who knew how to use that system. Right. If we sent mobile-based missile tech over there, we would have to have somebody over there that knew about it. And of course, the U.S. We're still involved in 168 conflicts. The U.S. is right now 168 conflicts. Ukraine is not even counted among the 168. So that tells you we have a presence all over the earth. We have people where no people should be. Let's put it that way. So we're all over the place. But if that were the case, then that's the case. That they're going to do what they have to do. Not just us, but most of the coalition special forces, special ops team, JSOC, they're going to be found all over the place. But keep in mind, some of the trackable systems have been used outside the Ukraine. In other words, here's what I'm saying: Russia has already tracked inbound ordnance that did not come from the Ukraine.
Okay.
I think you fairly answered.
Yeah, I think you fairly answered this. That there wouldn't be a conflict anywhere in the world that we wouldn't have some boots on the ground with some expertise. And I think you just answered that question. And that is why I think that Putin realizes he's already at war in the beginning stages with NATO, with the West. He actually just brought this war on, but it's been brewing for a while. What about China? Okay, I mean, China's warning their people, look out, there could be nuclear fallout. But China's also got an entire city of Shanghai on lockdown, and people are starving. What is going on over there?
Well, China has a heavy hand, against their people. And this, their excuse, this COVID thing, people really shouldn't buy that one. But China is preparing. What's funny? China just finished its evaluation of some of its mobile naval forces, right? As soon as they were finished, COVID-19 broke out. Then take note of that.
So Mike, of course, goes into more dialogue about China and different things. But really what we want to share with you is that, and if you want to hear the rest of the entire interview, go to the video just before this one, to the entire broadcast from last night about apocalyptic events. He gets very detailed here. There's some information he reveals, and then he reveals a dream that he had 24 times. And it's very, very detailed and apocalyptic for sure. And that's all in the entire broadcast last night. If you go watch it, and I know you'll be blessed if you do. You will certainly be informed of what's taking place. So we're definitely, guys, living in a different era. We're living in a different time. We're not living where we once were. The world is more dangerous right now than ever because the Cold War is over. The real war is on. And the stages are being set by NATO, the United States, China, Russia, really everybody. It's a world that needs Christ. And on this Good Friday, Jesus went to the cross for the sins of humanity, to set us all free from sin, to take this evil and conniving spirit that operates within the human race, brought on by Lucifer himself, to bring about, to kill, steal, and destroy. But Jesus said, I've come to give you life and give it to you more abundantly. So when he went to the cross, he had the sins of the whole world on his shoulders. But he took the sin of the world and he crucified it on the cross of his own body, shedding his own blood for the salvation of humanity. If we'll believe in his name and call upon his name, we shall be saved. I'll be right back after this.
As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, sisters, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sisters, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, brothers, let's go down, come on down. Come on, brothers, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about the good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, fathers, let's go down, come on down. Oh, fathers, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way.
Are you serious?
Oh, mothers, let's go down. Don't you wanna go down? Come on, mothers, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, sinners, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sinners, let's go down in the river to pray. Oh, sinners, let's go down,
Don't you want to go down?
Oh, sinners, let's go down in the river to pray.
That's my granddaughter. That's Lexi Begley. Let's go down to the river to pray. You know what? At the end of the day, that's the only thing that's going to matter is if you gave your life to Jesus Christ. He is the King of Kings. He's the Lord of Lords. This is the Salvation Station, and a lot of people got saved here last night. 42 was best I could keep up with, but I believe there was more than that, plus a lot of rededications. And I'm sure in the next week or so on that broadcast from last night, that more people are coming to the Lord. And on this Passover, on this Good Friday, we thank God. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. God bless all of you. I'll be back in a little bit with more. It's a very busy day today, including live communion tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern. I will share it with you. Have your bread, have the wine ready to take communion with me tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern. God bless all of you.